You put that energy out to the universe.
I guess I did.
And it worked.
Yeah, and so to remember that moment and then to fast forward to, oh my God, being in the first day of rehearsal in Dreamgirls, and I'm in front of the mirror dancing, and I'm like, who is this woman coming? Oh my God, that's Beyonce.
Jennifer Hudson's life did not begin beneath the spotlight of applause or red carpets. It began in darkness, the kind that permanently alters the structure of a person's soul. Long before the awards, before the standing ovations, before the world recognized her voice as one of the most powerful of her generation. She endured a tragedy so devastating that many would never emotionally recover from it. The brutal loss of her mother, her brother, and her 7-year-old nephew was not just a painful chapter in her life, it was an event that reshaped her entire identity. Grief of that magnitude does not simply pass, transforms you. And for Hudson, it created an unshakable understanding. If she did not guard her own heart, no one else would. This wasn't the kind of resilience built through motivational speeches or self-help books. It was survival, pure and instinctive. Emotional discipline became her armor. But even before that tragedy, Hudson had already been learning hard. Lessons about disappointment and public rejection. In 2004, she stood on the American Idol stage, young, gifted, and vocally undeniable. Week after week, she delivered performances that suggested she was destined for greatness. Yet, in a shocking turn, she was eliminated far earlier than anyone anticipated. Viewers were stunned. Critics later admitted it was one of the show's greatest mistakes. For many aspiring artists, such a public rejection could have shattered confidence permanently. But Hudson did not collapse under it. She did not internalize the loss as a verdict on her worth. Instead, she moved forward quietly, determined to carve her own path. And what came next was not a small recovery, it was a seismic breakthrough. She landed the role of Staskea. IDB landed the role of Staskea. And we all know of Staskea. And we all know I've been exploring that path. Instead, she moved forward quietly. We started Staskea Stefia. She moved forward quietly. We knew us Staskea. Film role. No long Hollywood resume. No gradual buildup. Just raw talent meeting preparation. And when she stepped into that role, she did not simply perform, she commanded the screen. Her rendition of "And I Am Telling You, I'm Not Going" was not just powerful, it was transformative. It introduced the world to a performer who was not asking for validation. She was embodying purpose. She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her very first film role. It wasn't hype, it wasn't luck. It was discipline meeting destiny. From there, her career continued to evolve with intention. She was not obsessed with trophies. She was committed to excellence. Her focus was on craft, growth, and integrity. That same dedication carried her toward one of the rarest achievements in entertainment. EGOT status. In 2022, she earned a Tony Award as a producer on A Strange Loop, officially securing her place among the few artists who have won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. But what made her journey remarkable wasn't the awards themselves. It was the internal evolution behind them. Her career became living proof that setbacks do not define you unless you allow them to. Grief does not have to consume you. Public opinion does not determine your destiny. Her spirituality and emotional clarity guided her through every phase. She became fiercely protective of her identity. She refused to dissolve into relationships, public expectations, or the demands of fame. Her voice was her anchor. Her sense of self was non-negotiable. And that foundation would eventually shape the most talked about relationship of her adult life. When Jennifer Hudson and Common first crossed paths professionally, it was just that, professional. Chemistry on screen slowly turned into something more intentional off-screen. What made their connection unusual wasn't intensity, it was quietness. There were no flashy public appearances announcing their romance, no dramatic social media displays, no chaotic headlines. Their relationship unfolded gradually, almost privately. In a world that thrives on spectacle, The first public hint surfaced in early 2024 when Common appeared on Hudson's daytime talk show. During the conversation, he mentioned being involved with someone who brought him peace and happiness. He didn't say her name. He didn't need to. The calmness in his tone spoke louder than confirmation. Observers began connecting the dots by 2025. The subtlety transformed into acknowledgement. On the red carpet at the Daytime Emmy Awards, Hudson openly described the relationship as stable and healthy. Notice the language. Stable, healthy, not passionate, not dramatic, not fairy tale. Stable, that choice of words revealed something deeper. This wasn't about romantic fantasy. It was about alignment. She had built herself first. Kate, only after solidifying her foundation did she allow someone into her orbit. Then came a defining moment. In July 2025, Common appeared on Samantha Chapman's podcast and spoke openly about how much he valued the relationship. He described it not casually, but as a life partnership. He admitted that he had evolved into someone capable of marriage, something he once doubted about himself. It did not feel like a publicity statement. It felt reflective, earned, honest. Months later, in October 2025, Hudson playfully asked him on her show to repeat what he had said publicly. The exchange was warm, confident, and relaxed. There was no awkwardness, no pressure. Just two adults fully aware of what they were building. Their union did not emerge from loneliness. It was not born out of desperation or convenience. It came after years of private rebuilding on both sides. Hudson had strengthened her identity. Common had confronted his patterns. Their connection felt less like a spark and more like timing. Finally, Align Common did not enter Jennifer Hudson's life as a blank slate. He arrived with history, long, layered, and revealing. Throughout his past relationships, there was one undeniable pattern. He could begin love beautifully, but sustaining. It proved difficult. He wasn't reckless, he wasn't scandalous. But whenever a relationship approached long-term commitment or emotional permanence, he would retreat. His relationship with Erykah Badu showcased this early pattern. He admired her brilliance and creative spirit. But when admiration deepened into emotional intimacy, he withdrew. The connection became too reflective, too revealing of parts of himself he hadn't yet confronted. Then came Serena Williams. On paper, they seemed perfectly matched to disciplined, powerful individuals operating at the top of their fields. But again, as permanence approached, distance followed. Serena had an empire to build. She was not going to wait for emotional certainty from someone drifting internally. The pattern repeated with Angela Rye. She brought structure, conviction, and clear expectations. When she sought emotional consistency, not necessarily marriage, but stability, he hesitated again. Each breakup left him in the same position, respectful of the woman, regretful of the loss. Confused about his own inability to remain steady, he wasn't incapable of love. He was unresolved within himself. For years, he carried trauma and uncertainty that shaped his approach to intimacy. He could offer affection. He could offer inspiration. But long-term accountability required transformation, and transformation takes time, the years between his last high-profile relationship and his partnership with Hudson were marked by self-reflection and therapy. He wasn't trying to become the perfect partner. He was trying to become a mature one. That distinction matters. By the time he and Hudson connected deeply, he was no longer avoiding permanence. He was prepared for it. Hudson, meanwhile, did not enter the relationship seeking completion. She did not revolve around his world. She maintained her own gravity. Her emotional boundaries were firm but calm. She did not collapse into romance. She did not chase. She did not demand. Her self-respect quietly required the same in return. And because she did not pursue him, he had no space to drift. He had two options: show up fully or step away. For the first time in his life, he chose to show up. Their relationship developed without spectacle. It grew privately, grounded in compatibility rather than chemistry alone. When he publicly stated that if he were to marry, it would be Jennifer Hudson, the statement carried weight not because of romance, but because of readiness. He wasn't performing affection. He was acknowledging growth. Hudson was not a transitional chapter. She represented the end of a cycle, the closing of old patterns. Their connection does not rely on illusion or projection. It is built on timing and emotional alignment. Two individuals, meeting when both have already confronted their former selves. That is why the world watches them with curiosity, not anticipating drama, but sensing stability. And in Hollywood, stability is rare currency. Their love story is not about fireworks. It is about sanctuary. Hudson brings clarity shaped by survival. Common brings steadiness shaped by reflection. Together, they create something grounded. Their relationship exists not for public consumption, but for personal peace. They understand that attention often destroys what it demands to see, so they protect what they've built. Their future will not hinge on viral moments or grand gestures. It will depend on their ability to remain whole while standing beside someone equally whole. This is not a fairy tale romance discovered early in life. 'Tis something rarer. A late alignment. By the time they found each other, survival had already been mastered. Success had already been achieved. Fame had already been navigated. What remained was peace. Jennifer Hudson did not fall into love blindly. She walked into it aware, healed, and grounded.